Hi, this is Kelly from Pet to Cat Kelly and Play Learn Talk, and in today's video we are going to learn how to recreate this page. This is a page from an escape room on Boom Learning, and we're going to learn how to make this rail fence cipher. So we're actually going to create this color-coded table. I'm going to create it in Keynote. You need to create it somewhere that gives you a table feature. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now. If you have any questions, you can just leave a comment below or reach out to me on Instagram at Pet to Cat Kelly. So we're going to come over to a fresh page, and let me actually make this smaller over here. Okay, I'm going to open this up larger so you can really see it. So what we need to do is create a table, and I'm going to use this table feature here. I'm going to pull out a random table, but I do want my columns to be like, I don't know, maybe 30 columns. So I actually know the exact number that I need because I've already done this, but when I first did it, I didn't know how much space I needed. So I'm going to recommend 30 because it's a lot and you can always get rid of it very quickly at the end. So we want to have 3 rows. So this is a good size for us right now, but it's really hard to see. So let's come over to format and we're going to give it some formatting that again we can change later if we don't like. This is just more for a visual guide for us right now. All right, so here's our table. I'm going to zoom out so you can see it. It's kind of a super weird shape, right? So we're going to make it a little bit smaller. And what we want to do is put our secret code into this cipher. So it's in a zigzag pattern. So you need to first decide what is your, what's your hidden message, okay? So mine is the number is 3. So I'm going to start on the first line, and then I go over 1 row and go down. Okay, go over 1 row and go down, then go over 1 row and go up. So you're going in this zigzag pattern, okay? It is not difficult at all, but it might require you looking really carefully, right? Okay, so we'll do this kind of quickly. So we end up like this. So I said that we're going to have some extra space at the end, and that is what happened. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the table tool, and then we're going to adjust the column size. Now, if you have any text over here, it will not delete it. You'd have to clear those cells, okay? But right now we can easily just delete it because nothing is there. All right, so that is our table. So the next thing we need to do is whatever tool you're going to be using to reveal the text. I'm using a flashlight. I want to match the colors. So you see here I've already pre-done it. So I'm just going to show you how to do it. Actually, I'm going to show you all the colors. So I'm just going to stretch out my flashlight so I have a really nice view of the colors. And the zigzag pattern, I actually want to make that black. And the reason I'm doing that is because my text is going to be black, and I want to actually have the text be invisible. So the letters that we wrote right now was more for the sake of you watching than for our actual card, okay? So you could even save that until the end when you're in the Boom Learning Workstation because you know you need a zigzag pattern. Actually, I take that back. You're going to want to do it because you need to know where your letters are going to go, right? Okay, so that's our pattern. You could just keep it like that, or you can match the colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out some patterns that stick out to me. So these top T's, I'm going to click on all of them at once. I'm holding Command down on my keyboard and clicking with my mouse. And then I'm going to come over to Fill, and I'm going to come over to this color wheel, and then I'm going to use the little eyedropper tool to select a color. So let's go ahead and do this dark blue color, and then I'm going to come over here and select the center upside down T's and make them all a similar color as well. So I'm going to make them, I think I made them this color up here. Oops, that didn't work. Okay, all right, so I'm going to click on all of these and we'll do the process again. Okay, so come over here and there's that. Oh, I like that color a lot actually. Okay, so we're going to click on this one and we'll make it like a nice little powder blue, maybe from here. Oops, I don't know why that's not working. Interesting. I might be clicking on a portion of the table. Okay, we'll try it one more time. Let's see if it works. It did. Okay, so there's our table. So right now we need to save this as a PNG image, so our background does need to be transparent, but we do not want to save it as it is right now because there's all this extra white space. So if you've ever had an image in Boom cards that you've been working with and there's like a huge transparent box that's around it and it makes it hard to like drag things because there's so much space or padding, that's what would happen if we saved it as an image in this size. Okay, so we need to actually figure out what the size is. I believe that we can just look at the size here. Actually, an easy way to do it, you can pull out a shape and you just put the shape over the top of whatever it is you're measuring, and see how there's a black box right now telling me the size. It says 995 by 203. So we want to actually make our document size that size. So let's just do, we're going to do 2000 by 400. And the reason is, I believe in Keynote you can't make something shorter than 200. So we're going to do this because it's the double of that, right? So it should still fit in here really nicely. If any of this is confusing or doesn't make sense, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to do a little more follow-up with you on it. I know it can be tricky. So at this point, this looks really good. There's not a lot of padding on the outside of it. We could probably make it even bigger. Let's see. Okay, so now we have this white right here. So if we save it as a PNG and it has this white background, it's going to look like it's a JPEG, okay? So we want it to have no background here. So we need to make sure that our document, the color of the background here, so this is background, we want it to be fully transparent. So now it looks black, okay? So we're going to go up to File and then do Export Images, and we want to specify just on slide 18 that we want to actually export this image. And I'm going to change it from JPEG to PNG because we want that black background, which is really a transparent background. Okay, so I've already done that, so we're going to go ahead and go over to the Boom Learning Workstation. Okay, here we are. And we're going to learn how to code this, okay? So for the sake of time, I've already imported some of these things, okay, because if you are making this feature, I think you're probably a little more advanced and you don't need to know how to import an image, hopefully. Okay, so here we are. Image has been imported. If you didn't know, I just pulled out image and then I imported the one that I just made. I've already imported my instructions here and here, my clue, and then I've already put a submit button. So what I need to do now is I need to come and grab a fill in the blank text box. I need to do a caption pick image so I can put my instructions with my flashlight, and I need to do all these little draggable boxes, okay? So let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so we're going to grab our fill in the blank first, and we're going to just stretch it out like this, and then we want to designate the answer. So the answer is, the number is 3. I'm going to put 1 with a period, even though there's not a period in the message, because I don't want kids to be marked wrong if they do it with proper grammar. So I'm going to do the number, the number is 3 without the period for those who are just like following to a T and there's no punctuation. And I'm not going to worry about the capitalization of it or anything. Okay, so I'm going to make the font size about 40, and that looks good. Okay, so that's too big. Okay, so let's make it maybe 25 or 35. We'll try it out. Okay, so only one's going to be going in that box. So we have the number is 3. That is too big. Okay, so I'm going to make it 30. All right, so we'll make it 30. Okay, and you can see that both of your answers are there. I actually have one incorrect because there's a comma after it. Oh, no, I don't. Okay. All right, guys, it's in the morning still and I haven't had my coffee, but I wanted to get this out to you on time this morning. So I hope you'll be patient with any confusion. Okay, all right, so the next thing we need to do is import our image. We're going to go, instead of image, we're going to do caption pick, and I've already imported my flashlight, and I'm going to grab it right here, and oops, I'm going to make sure to move it by the handle here, okay, and then for the caption, I want to put a little message. The message I said was, pick me up and set me down, okay, so this is just a little instruction that's going to follow the flashlight around. So pick me up and set me down. And I want to actually make sure all the text is in the box. I'm going to make it a lot smaller. And then I'm going to move it over. and have it like that. So what's wonderful about Caption Pick is you can move things out of it and it's still attached, okay? So I want to make this flashlight a lot bigger, and I also want to rotate it. So I'm going to make it a lot larger, and then I want to rotate it so that really the handle is the only thing that the student or the teacher, if they're using it during virtual learning, is going to be holding, okay? So I'm going to put it, maybe I'll put it like this actually. No, like this, I'll put it here. And then on this box here, I want to get rid of it. I want to get rid of the border. Okay, it's still going to be there, but we're going to get rid of the border so that we don't see it. So we're going to come over to border, put none, and then we're going to put this here. So now we need to make the whole thing draggable. So actually we need to make sure that this is draggable, the little box that they all came in originally. So that is draggable, okay? And then we're going to grab this if we want to move them all down like this. Okay, so we have our instructions. This is draggable. We need to have something to cover this up. So let's go ahead and grab a text, and we're going to delete the text from it. And oops, it disappeared. Here it is. Oh, this is annoying. Okay. All right, so we're going to cover it up, and we're going to make it black, and we're going to make it draggable. And then we can always write clue in there, okay? And we'll just change the color size, color in size. All right, let's make it smaller. Let's see, let's say clue number 1. Okay, so now that is draggable and it would reveal that message. So now we need to do our hidden message, okay? With that in mind, I'm going to make this smaller so that I can actually include my hidden message on all the black boxes. Okay, so now we just need to grab our little text out. So we're going to take a text box, and then we are going to start writing our message. So for the sake of this, I'm going to make it white so that you guys can see it nice and clear. Okay, and I want to center it as well. I'm going to put it right here. I want to make sure that the box stretches out the entire width of the box, and that is to prevent any like formatting errors that might happen because of someone's device size, okay? If you have a question about that, let me know in the comments below. Okay, so let's make it about 18. Okay, it gives us a lot of space. Okay, so now we need to actually make this draggable, because what we're doing is we're having our flashlight on the bottommost layer, right? So this needs to be on the topmost layer so that it pops over the flashlight light area, okay? So we're going to now duplicate this, Command C, Command V, and we're going to do it one more time, Command C, Command V. That did not work. And okay, so now what we do, since we have all 3 to save ourselves time, we're going to click on all of them. You could do Command C, Command V shortcut. If that doesn't work for you, just hit duplicate. Okay, and then we're going to move them over to the next part of the pattern. So yes, they have the incorrect letter and everything in them right now, but we'll come back and fix it in just a little bit, okay? All right, so now we need to grab the one in the center, Command C, Command V, and we're also going to move that over, okay? So we're almost done with this part here. We'll move this one over, and I think we just have one last one. All right, so they're all set out, okay, and we just need to change the letters. So we have the, and then E, N, U, M, E, E and R. We're almost done. So if it's hard for you to see the text, you might want to save making them draggable until you've done all the text. But I'm just going to do it with it draggable already. As you can see, it's not too hard. But you might make a mistake and then have to go back later. So if you really want to be careful, save the draggable to the very end. Okay, so that should be correct now. So now what we need to do is we need to make sure that this entire thing, so we're going to click on this tab right here. We want the Z order to be rear. We want it to be very, very far back, okay, the very bottommost layer. And then we also want to come to our submit button, which I'll show you how I made that. I didn't use a button, I just used a text box. That's just my habit. of using text instead of the submit or instead of the button. So you're just going to double click it, and then you want to make the background black. Let's see, black. And then the text, we're going to center it, size it down, and change it to white, and change the font. And I'm going to stretch it out a little bit more. Okay, and we'll actually replace this button, okay? So you can see how I make it. So we're going to put the button here, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And I want to center it with my clues, so I like the alignment of this. So I'm going to click on that, then on my submit button, then go to align, and then go to vertical. And it moves my submit button over in alignment with this clue button, okay? So I need to make this linked. In order to have this up here, I have to make sure everything is in Flow Magic. It is, okay? So I'm going to come over, I'm going to click on this again, link to, I want it to link to the next card only if they get everything correct, okay? So the only thing that's being graded here is this text box, okay? There's no drop zone, so none of these are being marked as accurate or inaccurate. They're just draggable items, okay? So I want to have a conditional link and link if wrong to none, okay? And that makes it so that they actually stay on the page if they don't get it correct. But if they do get it correct, they proceed to the next page, okay? So it looks like everything is coded here correctly. And let's go ahead and preview it. Oh, this is our problem. So the number, let's see, the number is 3. Okay, so I want to change this to a lowercase t, and I want to make them all black, okay? So this one needed to be a lowercase t. So now we're going to click on all of them, and I believe we can change all the font color at the same time. I'm hoping. Let's see. We'll change them all to black. Yes, okay, thank God, okay. All right, so they're all black. So that was so easy, right? So now they're hidden, but when we pick up our draggable item and we let go of it, or we set it down, it's going to reveal the letters, okay? So now in your message to your users or your tutorial or whatever you do to let your user know like how to use your game, you need to let them know that these items are draggable, okay? So they actually come off. So they don't go back to where they originally were when you pull them off because they don't have a drop zone. So I would just specify to the user that, hey, these are draggable, so just make sure you remember where they go if they get pulled off. That's why I wanted the instructions down at the bottom so that they really use the handle, okay? So that we're just avoiding the problem of accidentally grabbing this and not knowing where it goes, all right? So they would type the hidden message. So let's go ahead and put in the incorrect message. So the number is, let's do 4. When we hit submit, if we hit it here, it's going to also tell us incorrect, but there's no way to proceed because we put this button in, right? But if we hit submit, it's still going to say whoops and not let us go, and that's exactly what we want, okay? So let's say they, fix it to 3 and hit submit, and then they can proceed to the next page. So that is how you make this game, or that feature of the Boom Card Escape Room. I hope you enjoyed it. I know there was some bumps along the way, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next tutorial tomorrow. All right, you guys, bye.